Welcome back, you guys. We have another episode on makeup meets skin, where art and science meet beauty. We have a guest speaker today with us. Who do we have, Megan?
We have another Megan Copple, with licensed master cosmetologist as well as licensed esthetician. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yes, we're happy to have you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? And you've been in the industry for quite a while, haven't you?
Yes, I've been in the industry, well, technically I would say close to 25 years. I started working in the salon in high school. I was a receptionist, so of course I saw all the gals working and thought, oh my gosh, this would be the most fun career ever. So I went to school and became an esthetician in 2004. I'm cidESCO certified.
Oh, cool.
I have 1,500 hours in aesthetics, and I also decided to go back in 2007 to get my cosmetology license, which I have an additional 1,500 hours in that. So I would say that I'm committed.
Yeah.
I'm very committed.
Sounds like it.
I'm very committed.
So you say that you're cidESCO certified. What is the main difference in just an aesthetics license and then cidESCO?
So the way I explain this, especially if I'm talking to a newer esthetician that asks me whether or not it's worth it to go forward with cidESCO, is we in the United States have laws in every state. So we've got different rules, different state boards. In the rest of the world, we have the cidESCO certification, which does make the provider internationally certified. So if you start working at a salon or a spa and you tell them that you're cidESCO certified, they may not know what that means, but it is a more advanced practice. And I will tell you that at the time that I took my cidESCO, I was not really sure what it was.
Okay.
And there weren't med spas back then. We were doing a lot of European facials. So I was like, why am I learning all this? But as they just said, do it, and we promise you it'll come around, and it did, and it helped prepare me for where I'm at now. So I definitely think that it was beneficial, and I would recommend it for the knowledge and the credentials.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, I love cruising. And on the cruise at the spa, the ladies, they all have a cidESCO license.
Yes.
That's a requirement to work on a cruise.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you could work anywhere in the world with
Right.
cidESCO. So, but if I went to Kansas or if I went to California, because we're in the United States, I'd have to have the reciprocity.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
I always wanted to know more about the cidESCO license. I've heard about it, and as I said, I cruise quite a bit. So at a certain point, I was looking.
well, and I will tell you the difference. So you have I think we learned Milady standard, and I'm not sure if it was Milady, because I did both programs, but I know we had our standard that we learned for Missouri, but then cidESCO is an entirely separate program, and so you have two different tests that you take that are written and also practical. And during the practical, you have an international diplômé come in, and they ask you questions while you are testing. So you're not just showing them that you know sanitation. They're asking you why you're doing what you're doing and what that means. And, and so it was a little nerve-wracking, but I'm really glad I did it.
So how often do you have to renew your cidESCO license? Because cidESCO license is separate than your aesthetic license, right?
You don't.
You don't?
You don't have to renew your cidESCO. Once you take your cidESCO course, you don't have to renew it.
Okay.
So
with you being in the industry for over 2 decades, what would you say has been the biggest change? Or
Are there changes?
are there changes?
absolutely. I think I could probably spend an entire podcast talking to you about this one topic, but I'd say some of the biggest changes that I've seen really are just the difference in the respect for our industry. I think that there's just been a huge shift in the way we are respected. I think, our pay has changed. I think that as far as the client's needs, that has changed. I've seen I started off offering relaxing European facials and offering a lot of massages, going into the medical aesthetics portion where, several years ago, everyone wanted to be frozen. And we weren't aging at all. And now I'm seeing a shift with my clientele and myself personally, where I'm trying to do a little less of that and build my own collagen. And as I say to most of my clients and my accounts with Procell, I'm trying to make my clients look like themselves but better.
Yeah,
So-
that's a good way to put it, yeah.
So yes, I've definitely seen some changes.
So let's shift to the service part of the of the industry. So you said that it has changed to where we want to start to look more like ourselves, just age slower. So what type of services have you seen come out?
So I worked at a med spa for 5 years, and I've worked with different lasers. I've worked with traditional microneedling. I've worked with radio frequency microneedling. I do believe that these services have a place in our industry, and I think that they, depending on the patient's or the client's needs, I think they can be great. I'm a Procell rep, so I definitely like to talk a lot about Procell because of the changes that I've found with my own skin and my client's skin, and the possibilities with the device. And I just definitely feel like building collagen makes so much more sense than adding in the artificial additives.
Yes.
Because this is like we're actually putting a cast on the situation, not a Band-Aid. So I say that really frequently because it's temporary, whereas although we age around our treatments, building collagen is going to give a longer lasting effect.
Yes.
So what is Procell? I don't really know anything about it. She told me something, she kind of introduced me to it, but can you explain to us what Procell is?
Absolutely. So Procell Therapies has been around since 2014. We are a company that offers microchanneling versus microneedling. It's very similar to microneedling in a sense that we are creating a controlled injury. However, because we are using little mini pins instead of needles, and we are using the device in a linear stamping method, we are able to create less inflammation, less downtime for our clients, and we are able to see results quicker through using serums that are biostimulating.
Okay, so who is it recommended for? Like, who would be the best client for microchanneling?
So really, microchanneling can be used for most clients as long as they're not pregnant or they have some underlying condition that would cause them to not heal properly. We do have a whole list of contraindications that's not super crazy, but most people, even ranging from your Fitzpatrick 1 to your Fitzpatrick 6 are candidates. We don't have too many issues with that. Obviously, there's different protocols for different skin types. But I've been able to use the device for my skin clients' rejuvenation and also for their hair restoration.
Oh, okay.
So I think that on a provider standpoint, especially if you are, and like me, you're an individually licensed provider and you're solo. Now I will say I did just get an MD above me, so I have a doctor oversight. But if you do not have a doctor oversight in most states, this is how you can take yourself into advanced aesthetics, into that realm, without having to go through that extra step. So, as I mentioned, every state's different as far as what we can do.
And this is a service that's regulated in Missouri, right? We were saying earlier. Okay.
Yes. So as estheticians, we can work at a depth of 0.3.
Okay.
So we have tips ranging from 0.25, which is what I had been working with the last year, and I typically only work with the 0.25 or the 0.5.
Okay.
Cool.
She gave me a microneedling session some time ago.
I did.
And I was all red.
It's great. And that's the thing is, like, anytime we're trying to create a micro injury or we're trying to create injuries, we're trying to basically trick the skin so that it repairs quicker.
Right.
But at the same time, with microchanneling, you're going to have only a 90-minute downtime.
Oh.
It's going to feel like maybe you sat in the sun for a little too long one day. So when my clients have microchanneling done, within an hour or so, they can go about. Now, I don't have them put makeup on. I still have them, take care of their skin for the day and protect it. But we typically have extreme less downtime than Microneedling, you're not bleeding, you're not, looking crazy. So.
Yeah, I was red like a pepper for a while.
Do you have to numb with microchanneling?
So with the 0.25 depth, we do not numb, or
Okay.
it is not necessary, which I think is great because it saves time. And then as far as reaction to the skin, I do like working with a device that I can immediately see the reaction, because with numbing, it slows it down.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm working at a 0.5 depth, I do numb.
Okay.
So I do numb, but I feel like because the numbing is the depth is so minimal, that my numbing time is maybe 15 minutes. So,
Yeah.
and then they think that it's pretty similar to without the numbing, so.
Okay. And can you
Interesting.
talk to us a little bit about the serums that you use?
Our serums are actually really amazing, and I would tell you that that is really the workhorse and the main reason why we are able to work so minimally invasive. So with Procell, our device is a system. So you are purchasing a system versus when you buy a microneedling pen, you're buying the pen. So when you buy the pen, you go out and you get your hyaluronic acid or your peptides or whatever your added your combo treatment is. With Procell, you are able to purchase everything you need, and you can use the serums with the device, which is recommended. And I definitely feel like when I purchased my device, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. I talked to a rep, she told me it was amazing. I looked at the before and after photos, and I wasn't quite sure what I was getting into. But the thing that I will tell you is, with the recombinant growth factors that are in Procell, the way I describe it to my clients is, when you have microneedling done, you have PRP, right? So you purchase your PRP, it's a separate charge. PRP can be inflammatory, and then it also can, it can be less effective. I'm 40 years old, so my PRP is 40 years old, whereas the growth factors in our DNA repair enzymes are actually younger. They're between 20 to 24 years old.
Okay.
So that gives me a consistent result, so that if I have a woman that's 40 or a woman that's 30, I can give them a similar result. And I think that that's what really sets Procell apart.
Yeah. So if you don't know what PRP is, it's our plasma. So they draw our blood and they separate the plasma from our blood, right?
They basically, when you have PRP drawn, we put it in a centrifuge and it spins really fast. And once the spinning is complete, then the plasma is extracted from the vial, and then we use the plasma to help heal the skin.
Oh, okay.
But I'm glad that you said that, because I never thought of that. It's actually the age that you are. So yeah, it's still beneficial, but it's actually the age that you are. So yeah.
And with as many inflammatory issues as we have in our body, there's no way to tell how effective your plasma is going to be.
Right.
So if you have a lot of underlying health issues and you are older, I would still recommend the PRP if that was your option, but you're not going to get a consistent result
Right.
with someone who's younger. So
Education matters.
education matters.
Very, very, very. Why did you decide to purchase this system and start offering it?
Can I be honest?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Because I worked at a med spa for 5 years and I needed to keep this up. So initially I bought the device for myself, and I thought, okay, I've been self-employed for 10 years doing hair, and I was self-employed doing skin for a while. That's a whole other story. But when I left the med spa that I worked at, I thought, okay, how am I going to bridge these clients from the med spa, get them to come to me to offer them advanced practice treatments without an MD. I'm just this lady working in a broom closet, basically. It wasn't a broom closet, but it was a small aesthetics room. And so I purchased the Procell device, and I took the classes and really learned to explain exactly what I was doing, and learned everything I could about it. And so my clients obviously had some trust built up when they let me. I mean, we joked that we were kind of practicing at first, because I was like, I didn't even know about it before I bought it. So that's where it all started. And so I would tell you what's crazy about the trajectory of purchasing the device. That device sat in my garage for like 3 months before I took it. I was afraid. I'm like, I didn't even mess with it until my mentor and rep, Alba, she trained me. And then I got the device out and started working with it. Then this was August of last year. By December of last year in 2025, I was making way to open my own salon. So it really
Cool.
changed.
Smart,
my
very
career.
smart choice too. Yeah, I see how a service like this could literally bridge that connect. I'm just an esthetician to I'm an esthetician that offers something very unique and
Yes.
special that can help you build a more consistent clientele or a clientele quicker than what it
Yes.
would take if you just were offering other services.
And although it's not, I had never heard of Procell, and even working at the med spa, we never discussed Procell. And people ask me all the time, "Oh, this is brand new." And I'm like, actually, we've been around since 2014. It's just something I had never heard of either. But it is wild, because when I get online and I search for local providers in the area, like in where I live in Grain Valley, there's nobody.
Right?
Yeah.
There's nobody. And so it's one of those things, like you said, it's very unique, and it can really set a provider apart, because I don't want to name drop other specific devices, but if you go to most med spas, we have the same device.
Yep.
Right.
So every med spa has the same device. Every med spa, this is an opportunity for the provider to have something different.
I think that's a good point that you made. You took the time and you put in the effort to get that extra education because you wanted to provide that to your clients. And there is a time and a place for a med spa. And I'm not talking down on med spas at all, because I've worked in med spas, I go to med spas, but as a solo SD myself, we have to make our money too. Again, it's not all about money, but that's how the world goes around. But we want to build our clientele, so we have
Right.
to find those niche services.
It's definitely a different
Yes.
type of relationship when you are a solo esthetician or a solo provider compared
yeah.
to walk into, just a med spa or whatever that offer the same services. Some clients prefer more that one-on-one personal connection.
Yes.
Whether some clients are more like, I just want to walk in, get the service and go.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's why, I think this is a very smart direction for a solo esthetician, because you can really build that trust and that long-term relationship with your clients while giving them, results and giving them what they want on a personal one-to-one relationship. So this is great. I'm curious to know, so once you purchase this system, do they offer you with education? Do they keep up with you? What kind of support system do they have behind it?
So I call myself a Procell rep and soon to be educator, because I am getting ready to launch a workshop. But when we start working for Procell, we go through a training and we learn how to train our providers. So if you were to purchase a Procell device today, I have a whole system, but the main things that you would do is you would download the Procell app and you would take an academy course. It takes about 2.5 hours. There's a lot of videos, a lot of information there. And I always tell my accounts, take it at your leisure. You don't have to sit down and do it for 2 hours straight. After that, we set you up with a business class with your rep. So I typically will get on like a Google Meet, and I'll meet them face to face. We'll talk about all things Procell, and then we'll talk about their business, how we can fit Procell into their business, pricing, packaging ideas, things like that. And once we complete that, we also have additional marketing support. So you can sign up for marketing class as well. So our marketing team will teach a little more about marketing, as well as having lots of marketing resources in your app. So we're very supportive there. Once that's complete, then I set up a 90-minute certification. We do not have a territory. So with that being said, I have accounts in Miami, I have accounts in North Carolina, Pennsylvania. So we set up a virtual training. So
You don't get to travel to those places?
I mean, I'm sure I could, but it makes it a lot easier. I would love to. But I'm very thankful for having technology,
Right.
because it doesn't put me in, the Midwest. It
Right.
doesn't keep me only, working with people locally. But I always tell my accounts that, as long as I can see your hands and their face, I walk them through the treatment. I tell them, how to provide the treatment, and then once that's complete, then they're certified and ready to go.
I love that. There's a lot of support that is offered with the system.
And really, I tell my accounts as well. I mean, I had a text at 6 a.m. today from an account we were talking. So I noticed when I worked at the med spa when a device was purchased, the trainer would come in, and then unless you had an issue, you never heard from them again.
Exactly.
Whereas I send a monthly email, I check in with my people. I just spoke with a lady today and told her we needed to get her trained. So I think that you get that additional mentorship. And although I really respect you as both of you as teachers in a school, I personally enjoy my education with providers that are in practice.
Yes.
So there's different ways that you can get that teaching role in our industry. So this was how I found my little area of teaching.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I understand 100% and agree 100%. Very interesting. I didn't know anything about microchanneling. She told me something about microneedling. As I said, she put me through the torture one day.
It was torture for both of us. It's okay.
Well, and I find that and maybe because it was your first treatment, that's probably why. But as you know, as the client continues to come in, we're building collagen, our downtime slows down. And I've noticed my clients saying that after their first treatment, they'll say, "Oh, that was actually like less irritating this time." So as you go through your treatments, you become acclimated to them. So yeah, it really is amazing. And I will note also that it can be used for hair restoration. And above the need for rejuvenation, hair restoration is huge right now. We have the GLP-1, we have COVID hair loss, we have alopecia, we have normal, I don't want to say male pattern balding because women have it as well. We have medications, and I think not everyone wants to have shots in their head.
Right.
It hurts. I've done it. It hurts. So this has been an additional way for me to service my clients on the hair side, which I believe estheticians in Missouri can work on the scalp. I'm not 100% sure.
But I would say probably, because Missouri's the Wild West.
It is. Someone said that to me the other day, and I was like, I'm not 100% sure. You'd have to check with your state board representative before I could actually say that. But because I am dually licensed, I'm able to do that.
Oh, right.
But it has helped me. I feel like being dually licensed is amazing because I can just bounce the clients back and forth. We're doing your hair, you should come see me for your skin. So the hair portion has been really gratifying as well.
That's awesome. So do you want to talk to us a little bit about the class that you have coming up, or the workshop?
Yes.
Workshop. I do quite a bit of workshops here. I love workshops.
Free education.
Free.
Okay.
It's free. So yeah, that's another really amazing part about Procell. If you sign on to Procell Therapies website and you click the tab that says workshops, we are running at minimum 2 classes per week, and they range different topics. It may talk about microneedling or hyperpigmentation. Last night we had a live demonstration. Also, there are maximizing your menu and different classes that could benefit you even if you didn't own the Procell device.
Okay.
So after watching these classes and just kind of taking notes, I thought, you know what? We don't have a class that teaches about treating clients with sensitivity. And I think that is a really unique point about Procell is, like, if I had a client that was extremely sensitive in the past working with traditional microneedling, I don't know that I would have done it. So I know we had a laser at the med spa. I would use IPL, but I mean, felt like I was really limited in treating those clients. So as I'm treating my own clients for their aging needs, I'm noticing that their reactivity is changing, that their skin is less red, that they're having an overall appearance in their, and even appearance in their sensitivity as well. And I'll never forget one of my close clients, I sent her a before and after, and I said nothing about the redness. I was like, look how great your pigmentation looks. And she was like, I didn't realize how red I was.
Right.
So I pitched the idea and I said, I just really think that this is an area that we're lacking, and I think that people need to know that you can use a needling device.
That's awesome.
For sensitive skin types. And so I can't claim that I'm curing these issues, but I can tell you that I can help you manage them.
I think that's one of the most fun things about our industry, or what we do, is we can experiment with those types of things and help people feel good in their skin again. That's one of the reasons why I love doing this.
Yes. It is really it's gratifying.
Yes.
You know, when a client comes in and they're just laying it out and they need your help and you're able to solve that for them, it is extremely amazing, and the connections that you make along the way.
Yeah, and I think the sensitive skin types are some of the most, I don't want to say desperate, but they're the ones that want the help the most.
Yes.
You know, because they've been struggling with things and they try everything, and so that's awesome that you're providing that.
So obviously there was a need for a workshop for this. So if you join my workshop, it's actually on July 16th and it's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Procell is on the East Coast, so there's a reason why we advertise that. Obviously, if you're in Central Standard Time, it's going to be 6 p.m. But I'm going to host this workshop. It's completely free, and you just sign up and we'll send you a link, and then you sign on to Zoom, and I'm going to talk about sensitive skin types, and I'm going to talk about what causes sensitivity.
Okay.
And explain, I don't know if you've ever heard of zombie cells, but that's been like a whole big buzz.
Yes, the zombie cells are like a new thing that everyone's talking about. Now, the first thing that we do with our clients is try to heal their barrier.
Yes.
And then we kind of move from there.
Yes, and essentially when I have clients coming in for sensitive skin types, that's what we're doing first. So if they come in and they're in for aging now, I'm like, okay, well, let's heal your barrier first, and then we'll talk about that. So through the process of doing that, I developed this workshop, and I'm just really excited for it. I think that there is a need for it. I think that people, a lot of people in our industry don't know how to approach the client. They don't know how to treat the client. So I want to share my experiences and what I've learned with the device that I currently work with. So
that's awesome. I do think that education is important because, to be honest, until I started teaching about 2.5 years ago, I didn't know that barrier repair was even a thing. And I've been licensed for 11, 12 years. So, and you know, I've continued my education. So if you don't know, you don't know.
Right. And the first step I had into that, which is interesting because I started working at the med spa, and when I started working with Epionts, and they talked about the barrier, I was like, wow, this makes sense. Like, we're trying to fight all this inflammation in our body. Yeah. It makes sense that all of these issues with our skin that we're experiencing are, not all of them, but a lot of them are inflammation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I will tell you, I used to be extremely aggressive with my skin. I've, in the last several years, backed off, and at an older age, feel like my skin is more normal than it's ever been in my life. So when my clients ask me what I do, I tell them I'm very basic. I do have treatments done, but I am not aggressive with my skin whatsoever. And it's really been amazing in comparison to what felt like I was taught.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it's an it's an ever-evolving industry too. You know, we have new technology coming up all the time. There's always new things, new discoveries, new treatments available. So I can easily understand how, there's a shift in how we treat our skin and what we think that can cause or is the cause of sensitive skins or other issues. So this is very interesting.
Yes.
I didn't know a bunch of this stuff. I'm just the makeup artist here. I put makeup over the face. They do the underneath.
We need to prepare the skin so that you have a beautiful skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, love that. I love that, which is equally important. It really is. And, and I'm sure whenever you're working with clients and they've got great skin, then you're actually using less makeup, and you don't need to use as much makeup when you have great skin.
Yes, one of the first things that I always teach is that there's no good makeup without good skin or good skincare, right? There's a certain prep that you have to. There's no $150 foundation that's gonna give you the skin that you don't have. So.
And you don't yell at the client for having dry skin.
Yep, like her.
She didn't tell me today that I had dry skin.
Not today. I've done her makeup a couple of times and she had dry skin before. I'm like, Megan, this ain't working out. But she's gotten better.
I'm getting better. Taking care of myself.
What do they say? The cobbler's son has no shoes or whatever.
Yep.
Like we're busy like slaving away taking care of everyone else.
Yes.
I have 2 different Instagrams. I have my Procell. I'm the KC Procell rep. So that is my Procell Instagram. And then I have my spa and salon Instagram, and it's called Headspace KC.
Okay.
So I have 2 different, but they're linked together, so if you go to one, you'll be able to find the other one.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome. And remind us of when your workshop is?
So my workshop is July 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are a provider that works late and maybe you're not able to be there because you'll be on vacation or whatever else, you can sign up for the class, and then I will send you a recording after it is complete.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Perfect. That's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was very educational.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been an amazing first podcast.
Awesome.
So thank you so much.
First
This is my
podcast
first
for you.
one.
Yay!
Thank you.
I'm glad you're doing it with us. I'm so
Less
excited.
stress.
Yes,
Less
yes. You guys know we're friendly here somewhat. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. You can find her on Instagram on her account that she mentioned earlier. I'm gonna put them here somewhere. Turn on the bell for your notifications so you don't miss any episode of Makeup Meets
Yes.
Skin.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe. Megan, did we reach 100 subscribers?
We are over 100 subscribers.
We are over 100 subscribers.
If you don't know how to subscribe, just message me and I will help you out.
We're here to help you guys with education and YouTube. Thank you so much again, you guys. We
Yes.
will see at not yours. We will see you at our next episode next week.
Bye.
Bye.